Hello, Bambaji here. It is time for another gate exploration as the sun transits. We're moving into gate 53 on Sunday, the 6th of July at 1828. This is the gate of development, the gate of beginnings. And you can see that it is a gate in the root center. It's pointing up towards the sacral, so that makes it a generator energy. It is collective. It's on the abstract sensing side of the body graph. This is the hot side because it feeds through the emotional system, through the solar plexus. It's part of a format channel which conditions and grounds the abstract circuit into the nature of cycles. This is the fuel for maturation. It is the process of transition and change. The 53rd gate of development, it's the fuel of steadfastness. It's the energy to start a new cycle, regardless of the changes that new cycle brings. Like the other format gates out of the root, this gate carries the potential of depression, the pressure to begin and ultimately complete a cycle, but without definition to that harmonic gate 42 at the other end of the channel. There's stress and there's frustration. This is an energy which is always seeking new beginnings, and it is in a circuit which demands patience. The pressure to begin is not an awareness. It's a mechanic. It's a motor pressure. The pressure rides a wave. It's always present. The intensity to start one moment will fall away in the next moment. Wait and see. There's no sense starting what one is not going to finish or what there isn't the energy for. This defeats the whole purpose of the abstract process. And you may not have gate 42. You may not be in a position within your design to complete whatever you start. But somebody will come into your life, or maybe a transit will come in that will bring the 42. And then there is either the possibility for you to tap into that energy or for you to pass it on. I've started something, you finish it, you've got the 42. You bring that cycle to a close. And so that's also part of the entering into something correctly. The human experiential way, it drives us through our human evolution. And it really begins here with this gate of beginnings. Logic is there to measure. Individuality is there for its mutative potential. But the movement through life as a human, this is always going to come through the abstract process. That's why the abstract mind is where history comes from, because it is that collating of human experience and then the ability to communicate it. Ra used to call the 53rd gate the gate of freedom, and it's because of the link to mammals and to the charts of mammals and their need to be free. If you have a dog, he said, with the 53rd gate and you chain it up, well, apart from the whole morality of chaining up your dog, you're going to make it so depressed that it won't want to live. And of course, we're mammals, so this is also true for us. He said also that it's a very American gate. It's very much the pioneer way. It's saying, we're going into uncharted land for the new experience, and we have to be able to feel our own freedom in order to go in and start something new. That's why when you have the 53rd gate, you're always going to have points in any relationship where you want to give up the relationship and start something new. Above the lines in the I Ching, it says development as a structured progression that is both steadfast and enduring. There is an endlessness to the, is that a word? Endlessness. Okay, okay. To the experiential way. It doesn't stop. It's a cycle. that never stops. And it's a way that will never be aware. The abstract will never really transcend. It will not come with us when we move on. It will last as long as humans are on this planet, but no longer. One of the absolute laws of the universe is that everything that begins ends. It might take eons, but it will end. Everything that is going through a process, whether we see this as linear or cyclical, this is an ongoing process of maturation, the step by step of going through something from the beginning to the end. And this is life itself. This is what we're all going through. And it is punctuated by birth and by death, and there is nothing we can do to escape that. It's part of the way. This is the maturation process. The energy in this gate is cyclical, and it is the pressure to complete, the gate of beginnings. But the pressure isn't just, oh, let's get started. And it's not, let's go all the way. I've got to see how this ends up so we can be mature. It's a fuel, and the quality of that fuel is very active, and it's full of stress. And if you look at the root center, you can see that biologically it is to do with the adrenaline system. And the adrenaline hormone is a stress hormone. That's not the only thing that the root does, of course, and it's not encompassing every gate there. I think if you look at the root center, there are 9 different gates there, and so there are different processes that work there. He said, Ra said, if you look at all 9 gates, I think there's only one where the word stress is there in its fuel dynamic, and this is gate 53. And this is the most stressful of all the gates, he said. Anyone who carries the 53rd gate and who can't begin something new is loaded with this stress energy and no way to release it. These are the kind of people that get into a job and then they want to get out and they want to do something new. And they can't get out and do something new. And then that builds up enormous stress inside them because they need to be free. We know also this is a generator energy, and so beginning something new is going to have to come through response. If you enter into something new correctly, then as I said, you will either have the energy yourself to complete the process, depending on whether you've got that 42 or not. The correct people will come to you to help you in that maturation process of the cycle. And somehow that cycle will close successfully. This human experiential way, this most important abstract circuit for our development, it begins with responding to something new. It's a powerful, powerful energy. Let me show you. Okay, so grounding the sun in gate 53, we have the earth in gate 54. As you can see right opposite there in the mandala. This is called the marrying maiden, and it's the gate of ambition. So you can see it's another root gate, and it has the drive and the fuel coming out of that powerful motor. And this is the fuel for ambition. It fuels the ambition to rise above material distractions to mystical realms and perspectives. This is one of those sun-earth pairings where the grounding influence seems to be almost obvious, really, you could say. In order to have something new, you need the freedom to be able to do so, and you also need the ambition. Not in the way that we often consider ambition, that tribal competitive push to be better than everybody else, but just that simple ambition to do something different. So this is an overview of gate 53, the energy that the sun is bringing to us for the next few days as it transits through, being grounded by that marrying maiden in gate 54. Do you have gate 53? If you have you explored its energy and what it brings to your design? Being a format energy, it has an effect on the whole design if it's present. So there may be a fairly constant push to begin new things. As I was working through this presentation, I was reminded of a song looping in my mind, which I think it was Bing Crosby and the Andrews sisters, and they had a song called Don't Fence Me In. And that feels like a sort of an anthem for this gate 53. As the sun transits this gate, it's important to remember that it is a transit. If you don't have this activated in your design as a consistent energy, then it's a fleeting experience for you. So be really careful of beginning something new during this transit just because you're feeling a pressure to do so. Because the root does bring pressure, and depending what else you've got going on in your design, this could be something that is really, really pressures you. So be really aware of that. So root gate. And it's possible that you may be able to sort of dive into this drive that it brings and make use of it. But of course, as always, we check in with our strategy and authority. We don't go from our mind. So it may be absolutely correct for you to make use of this energy, this gate 53, to start something new. But it may also be a story that you're feeling this pressure and you've got to start something. So that's something for you to play with as the experience of it unfolds. So thank you very much for joining me on this overview of gate 53. And we will go through each of the lines over the next 6 days. And we will look at the pressure of new beginnings and what that can bring to our overall experience. Thank you very much. I will see you soon. Go gently.